In this video, I'm going to be doing the personal style challenge, aka no disguise. Now, this isn't exactly a guide, but I'm just going to show you guys what I did and walk you through the process. This is a skill tree I used, which to be honest, I don't think is completely optimal, but the important things are social engineering 1, which is necessary for bluffing. I got intimidation 2, which isn't strictly necessary, but it lets you interrogate the head of security. Then advanced protocols 1 for hacking. I also got dead silence, which does actually help a bit because we're going to be sprinting around quite a bit in this one. Otherwise, stuff like Undertaker isn't too important. Pickpocketing is optional. I didn't even use it in this run, but if you wanted to, you can go for pickpocketing too. Anyway, let's get started. For loadout, I'm just bringing a drill and a hacking tablet with a backpack because lockpick really isn't necessary. The first step is to shoot this camera, and this won't actually raise the alert level if you get the guarding time. Now, this just helps because I'm going to be running around the inside later with no disguise, and so the more guards I take out, the easier the mission becomes. Now I just want to explain something that I know is a bit confusing. So in the version I'm playing this on, which is CO11, you can actually lure more guards by taking out the basement cameras. And this means that by the time you get to the first floor, there's only like 2 guards. However, in update CO13, which as of this video is still in the testing server only, this doesn't work anymore because basement cameras can only lure basement guards. And so for the sake of this video not becoming outdated immediately, I chose not to do that, which means I'm not luring any more guards. I did take out this one though, just so I could get a keycard, because the guard I lured didn't have a keycard. Now, if I wanted to, I could just take out the rest of the basement guards right here, but it takes a bit to do it while the cameras are still up, and I don't need to take them out immediately, so I decided to go to the first floor, and this is the really tricky part. So first, I recommend taking off your backpack, just because I believe it makes you detected a bit faster, so I'm just keeping my hacking tablet on me. In this part, you need to bluff using social engineering, which lets you walk around the entire first floor without being detected. In this part, if you really wanted to, you could wait and pickpocket. For example, there's a spot where you can pickpocket the manager. Ultimately though, you need to make a run for the camera operator. The first condition to be able to start running is that the camera that's right next to the stairs needs to be facing toward the stairs, not the hallway. That way you won't get detected by it as you're running. You also need to be sure that there's no guards that can see you, including the manager, but fortunately, employees literally don't care about trespassing, so you don't need to worry about them. Depending on how much risk you're willing to take, you can either make a run for it immediately if it looks clear, or you can wait because sometimes there's guards closer to the camera operator's room that you can't see from the stairs, so you do need to be careful about that. In this run, I actually got really lucky because I managed to get the head of security at just the right time. Intimidation 2 is needed to hostage him, and if you interrogate him, you can actually get the safe combination, which isn't necessary, but it does make taking out the manager optional, which is nice I guess. But because I'm not very smart, I literally unlocked the safe and then forgot to take the key card. So yeah, great going, Unoff. Real quick, I just want to point out that sometimes, depending on RNG, the camera will be in a different spot, or you could have both cameras. If that happens, it's a bit annoying, but it's ultimately fine. You can just do it like this. Now, thing is, if you get caught once trying to trespass, you actually get a chance the first time, as long as you agree to leave the area. Anyway, once you've gotten the camera operator down, that's the hardest part done, and the rest of it is a lot easier. Now you just need the vault code, the box number, and the vault keycard if you don't have it already, which I'm supposed to have the vault keycard, but yeah. Once it's clear, you can just drop down like this, and it's completely safe. Now, I decided to check out the one room that always spawns on the first floor, though it is random what's inside it. In this case, it's one of the archive rooms, which is great because that gets me the box number, which is one of the things I need. The reason I'm able to get inside is because I have the master key from the head of security, which lets you unlock any room. If you don't have the master key, then you can either bring a lockpick and try to make it work, or you need to get a manager for the office key, then use the office key to get the archive key, or just wait for the head of security in the one room. Do you guys see why this isn't a guide? There's so many steps, so many different possibilities. Once you know the basic method, if you know how to do the mission, you can make it work. Otherwise, you should not be attempting this challenge yet. I really like hanging out in this area because nobody can detect you here, and it's a lot easier to get here than it is to make a run for it to the character's room. At this point, the next thing you want is to access the upstairs access point, which has a couple of different locations. Two of them can be accessed on the way out from the character's room, but I didn't get good RNG. In this case, I decided to go back and just get a vault keycard. Although to be honest, that was totally unnecessary because you can just get it from luring the manager later. But okay, whatever. I should have just taken it. Here I'm gonna run for it, which usually is pretty safe. In this case, it was kind of close, but oh well. And then I got the access point, which ended up being in the conference room. Then you can just traverse the manager's computer, crack the password, get the vault code, and if needed, lure the manager to the conference room and take him out for the vault keycard. But in this case, I already have that, so I can just skip that step and head straight to the basement. Here, I decided to go all the way back, first because I have to, since my drill is right here, but also, I had a run where I failed in probably the dumbest way possible. Ever since then, I've never used these doors again in personal style. Seriously though, failing like this was really painful. Anyway, moving forward. Now I just had to clear the basement because I hadn't done that yet, which should be pretty simple just because the cameras are down. Now, a very important thing to remember in this stage, it's very tempting to put on a disguise as soon as you enter the basement, which will obviously fail the challenge instantly, so yeah, don't do that. Anyway, now I just drilled the sensors, and yeah, the mission's pretty much done. Not gonna lie guys, I wasn't very happy with this method, because this was a good RNG run. There are some where it legitimately takes ages to make a run for it. So I went on the experimental version and decided to test if there was any other way to lure guards. And it turns out you can actually disable the access point to lure guard, and since I've taken out the entire basement, it can't be a basement guard. Wait, what? The Haas? Okay, if this happens, the mission becomes really easy. In fact, you can actually just do this and just shoot the camera operator, and then the mission is just so much easier. But anyway, I went on stable after the new changes. I did this method. I didn't get the Haas, but I still got a random guard down. Also, scratch what I said about pickpocketing earlier. It's actually super convenient. I know I also said not to take a lockpick. I know some players have made it work, so you don't have to either wait for pickpocket rotations or try to get the Haas upstairs. But it is pretty risky. I mean, maybe I'm not doing it right, but you have to cancel at just the right time. I could keep talking, but things are probably going to change. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was a bit of a low effort video, but it is pretty long, okay? Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.